Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. As you can guess that this video is gonna be about study plan for GKS. So without a further delay, let's begin with it. First thing first, what I did in my study plan is I divided it into four major sections that consist of before coming to Korea, after coming to Korea, goal of study and study plan in Tongso University, and fourth point was planning after study. So in these four sections, I literally created each and every point, highlighting what am I gonna do during that time. Like I created some points, not like a paragraph, so that the person who is reading it can read it pretty easily. So let's begin. The first point was before coming to Korea, and in that point I mentioned basically three major points. The first one was topic level 4, which I aimed to get during April topic of 2024. And then I also wanted to continue taking classes from King Sejong Institute. I highlighted that as well. And also another thing that I wanted to do was to take another course on screenwriting from Film and Television Institute of India. So I highlighted three of those points, and another point I made, like I want to improve Korean language as my fourth language, and reach higher intermediate level before going to Korea. So these are the points I mentioned in the first section. Coming to the second section, which is about after coming to Korea, so there are a few points that I mentioned. First, like I will attach the image of the study plan right here, so you can basically read it, but the points that I want to highlight are improve Korean skill by club activities and community work, then topic level preparation, and of course, because like if you're in Korea and you are doing a language program, it's important for you to focus on your topic level and improve your Korean language skill. So I highlighted that, like not only spoken Korean, not only the overall cultural and other understanding of Korean culture and stuff. Not only that, but along with that, I also mentioned that I want to pre-read the papers related to my major. These 3 points which I mentioned here are basically the key points of the whole after coming to Korea section, but I wrote it elaborately and I tried to give more detail on each and every point. So this is how you just do your memo and you build the sentences like I did. Like I'm talking about the memos right now. I created the same memo right here, and the thing that I wrote is basically the sentence formation of the memos I made. Coming to the third point, which is goal of study and study plan. So in this section, initially I made a paragraph, and in that paragraph I talked about all the stuff that I want to do in Dongso University, but in general the paragraph is consisted of few points that includes in-depth knowledge, pre and post-production techniques, present art with social values and meaningful approaches, research and experiments, how film can resolve social issues, visit Imkuntech Museum, go through the scripts, photographs, film related documents. So in this section, one thing you can notice is I mentioned Imkuntech Museum, which is basically a museum for especially made for film students. where you can get the scripts, books, and all the important documents, materials related to film, which is by famous director Im Kontek. So it's definitely priceless. And since I mentioned the name of the museum, which is owned by Dongsu University, it kind of shows that I did my research and I applied to university track. So you can get it, like I can mention all those stuff and make this study plan more personalized. After this, after this paragraph, I basically made 4 points which represent 4 semesters. So during the first semester, what will I do, and the second and the third and the fourth, I gave some idea about it. Now before you start writing that portion, I would say check the curriculum you have in your university. You will get 90% of the idea of what you are supposed to write here. And after reading that, just don't write the curriculum directly, but try to mention what you are gonna do with that curriculum. Like, what are you gonna do after learning this thing, after learning this part? What are you gonna do? How you are gonna practically implement, or how you are gonna feed your knowledge, how you are gonna get some information by this, how it's gonna help you. You're gonna mention that. So what I did was, during the first semester, I mentioned like few points like film technology, commercial film planning, film marketing, etc., etc. And I also mentioned Minsok library, where I'm gonna spend most of my time reading all the film related books and everything. And also I'm gonna join theater club Maha. Now the fun part is, right now I'm recording the video in Minsak library itself. So yeah, so it kind of feels amazing that I actually wanted to be here. I wanted to study here and like enjoy the vibe it has, and I'm doing it. I'm making a video right here. I come here to study regularly, so yeah, it feels really nice. Apart from this, by that theater club Maha and Minsok library, I highlighted again, like I did my own research. I know about the university and I know what I'm going to do, what is my plan. I plan to join the theater club, I want to study in the library. I mentioned the names, so it became more personalized. The university knows, this applicant basically did her research. She is not just applying to this university because this is the university she thinks she can get into or something like that. No, she did her research, so make sure you do that too. Now during the second semester, I highlighted like film policies, sound design. Then I want to explore and understand the relationship between film and society, and by that I want to express ideas through skills. So it's kind of like what I'm gonna learn during that semester and what I'm gonna do with that knowledge. So it's by this they will know, okay, so what are you gonna learn? I'm gonna learn this. And why you are gonna learn this? I'm gonna learn this because I want to do this. So you make sure that you highlight it in this way. That makes it more effective. During the third semester, I'm basically planning to learn film theory and then authorist film research, etc., etc. During the fourth semester, I mentioned basically the aesthetics, editing techniques, portfolios, and internships, and also take part in film festivals. So these are the things I mentioned in the section goals of study and study plan. And after that, we have a section called planning after study. So this section is quite big, so I'm gonna read it out loud so that it helps. So in the section planning after study, I highlighted that I want to work in Korea for 1 year as an intern, and then I want to try in big film companies, and after that I want to contribute my creativity in filmmaking. And also I plan to work in Korea for almost like 3 years to gain experience in the professional field. I highlighted that what are the things I want to focus on. So basically I highlighted things like countries rich traditions, cultural heritage, and also I mentioned that I wanted to focus on contents that actually raises social awareness. So I mentioned that as well. So the line I wrote was, I also plan to involve myself in social awareness content creation as a part of social responsibility and promote unity, equality, and portray human natured relations using my prior knowledge of humanistic geography. So it kind of links once again with the major I completed my bachelor's in. So I mentioned this line because I felt this will make me a unique candidate since my major was geography and I'm applying for film, so I can actually express both of my interests through film. So I mentioned it in this way. Apart from this, I also mentioned that I aim to create films involving Indian culture influence, resulting in stronger bonds and friendship between two countries through um, impactful collaborations, creating new dimension in film and cultural exchanges. Furthermore, this opportunity will open many doors and create more significant opportunities for cultural diversification. And also, after this, I mentioned that I, if I get opportunity, I want to do some research on horror and laughter, which requires intense understanding of human psychology. Because I love to focus on presentation of such content and understanding the audience reaction, because I feel like a knowledge of human mind will help me to discover the cause of social evil and create content to make society aware and understand the serious problems through video content. For example, I mentioned the movie Joker beautifully portrays the complex character development of the protagonist. It depicts how life experiences can shape a person into a completely different being. The movie subtly blurs the line between good and evils and offers a profound insight into the human psyche. Such movies with open ended interpretation and characters psychoanalysis will be essential to my research plan. So, I personally am interested in this part, but at the same time, I was not sure if I can do anything like that during masters. I was not sure if there is anything related to this in my curriculum because I didn't find one. But fortunately, in one of my professors' research, there was something a little bit related to that, like psychological expression through film. Not exactly what I mentioned, but something that can be closer to this. So I thought it would be nice if I mention this interest of mine here. So I did that. And after that, uh, in the paragraph, I also mentioned that using oxymorons in the script is significant and it creates depth in content. So I want to include oxymorons, allegorical film, then mystery, suspense in my research, focusing on contradictory music, sound design during the presentation. Then the emotional impact of a well written tragedy is immeasurable. After experiencing such contents, individual can reflect on their values to ask questions that they must ask themselves. The impactful observation of human mind and subconsciously influences people's future actions based on what they have watched and observed. So I basically talked about the previous topic in more detail here, like how I feel about this, um, topic and how I can do research in this. What are the points I want to highlight here, just to show my interests and just to show how I view this topic from my eyes. And in the last paragraph, I mentioned that after gaining enough experience and expertise in Korea, I plan to return to my home country, promote Korean culture. Similarly, last but not least, I plan to establish my own production house and import all the knowledge I gained through experiences abroad. I will also take initiative to start a project that will formulate entirely new type of plot and execution. I want to impact and bring something I learned in Korea to India and create a strong connection between two countries through cinematic creations. I also aim to make some impactful films in my native language, Bangla, focusing on topics like social issues, deep values, and fluid cultural boundaries of both countries. I firmly believe that film can help me with the artistic vision to present something new and beyond the limit and communicate with mass media to encourage awareness of social issues. So that's it. That was my whole study plan. What I like most about my study plan is the personalization. I mentioned few points that requires research. So this is one of the things that I like most. The second point, I would say I didn't really write everything in a paragraph, but I preferred to make points so that the person who is reading, that person can comfortably read it and get the points, because they have like lots of study plans and personal statements they receive. So basically they can just go through the points and highlight it and get the context out of it. And also the third point, I would say that I kept a link. I talked about my personality in my personal statement. I talked about my study plan in my study plan. But the point was, in both cases, I showed my interest. Like, that makes me me. So how I connected my interests in study plan, how I connected my prior knowledge in geography a little bit, maybe in a line, but I did it. And I wrote study plan. I actually let them know what I want to do with all these interests, where it's leading me, what I want to do with this, with all the interests I have about social awareness, social issues, etc., etc. What I'm gonna do with this. So I talked about all those right here, so that they can get an idea. I think these are the points that kind of made my study plan quite strong, I would say. So yeah, that's it for the video. I hope it was helpful, and if it was a little bit helpful, then please do like this video and subscribe the channel, because it would help me a lot. And yeah, all the best with your application. See you in Korea.